What would a season of a reality TV show look like in this day and age without the idea of a secret recording? As if the multitude of cameras around you, doggone near 20 to 12 hours out of a day, maybe 10 to 12 hours out of a day, there is also now the need for secret recordings. I mean, one could argue that the OG of it all really set a precedent for why someone may need to record what's actually going on. I don't know that that will actually bode well for your career on the show, but it will definitely help you prove your point if that is what you are intending to do, right? Because we know that reality TV, an edit could show one thing and then you could have experienced a completely different thing. But that's what happens when you sign a reality TV show contract. You are signing over the rights to the reality of the situation for them to put together the show that needs to be to put together to maximize our entertainment. So we're going to get into a little bit of that today. And we're going to talk about this odd little beef between Phaedra Parks and James Simmons. What is going on there? Mary Cosby is revealing some tea about one of the cast members on Salt Lake City, and then we've got to discuss the episode of Salt Lake City. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do so. Hit that notification bell button, join the community. Remember, we are going to Thailand March 1st through the 7th. There is still time for you to reserve your spot. These are life-changing travel experiences meant for people who are ready to just step out of their comfort zone and experience something fresh, new, and different. And also, the fact that we are still communicating in our Bali group chat tells me that these trips are bonding experiences where you get to actually travel and bond with people that you may have never gotten to meet. And it's an opportunity to really grow personally, and especially for people who look like us, right? We don't always get to experience those types of experiences unless we plan it. So that's what I intend to do. The trip is planned from top to bottom, and it is going to. I cannot stress this enough. This is a life-changing experience. So tap in. Now let's get into the biz naive. Phaedra is on Dancing with the Stars, right? And fellow housewives have been out to support her, which I think is awesome. And she's still on the show, so I think that in general the public just likes Phaedra, right? And networks tend to like Phaedra, I think, because she's funny, she's quirky, she is, there's something about her, and she has an it factor that whether you like her or not, you cannot deny Phaedra's stage presence. Now, whether or not she's going to give you much meat and potatoes, I don't think many networks really care about meat and potatoes anymore as much as they care about the splash and the splendor that comes along with a dynamic personality, right? So, having said that, she has lasted on Dancing with the Stars. Now, let's critique the dancing, right? Now, obviously, because this is on, shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for pulling this footage, but YouTube is a little bit different with regards to what I can actually show you. But if you do visit the Neighborhood Talk, you can actually watch Phaedra's dance, and she does a dance. She does the Paso Doble to Bon Jovi's You Give Love a Bad Name. Now, that is a classic amongst like many people. Like, I was actually just listening to it as I was getting ready for this video, and I was like, dog, this song, when people play it, I mean, everybody knows it and everybody sings it, right? It's a classic rock song, right? And so my assumption, because I did not watch the entire episode, truthfully, is that this was maybe a Bon Jovi night or a rock night or something of the sort. I have no idea, to be quite honest with you, because I can't be bothered to watch everything. But what I did see from these and the past few routines that Phaedra has done is that while Phaedra is whimsical and dynamic and she has personality and she brings the facial expressions and the energy, the technical skills of it's not quite all the way there. Now, if you're looking for fun and effervescent, she's definitely going to give you that, and she definitely gave that with her Paso Doble from last night. Well, was it last night or the night before? I can't even call it. What day is it today? Whatever day it was that she danced. Okay, I can barely recall the days of the week right now. But what I can tell you is that when you watch it, you will see, I mean, there's a little bit of flubbery, but she's still doing the doggone thing. So when he rated her a 5 out of 10, Phaedra, is that shade, Phaedra? She definitely took it as such. So when she was asked about, well, what did she make of Gene Simmons, whose song it is? Okay, I believe that's his song. Anyway, she's like, well, he's obviously a dingaling who doesn't like short black women. And so you could tell, like, there was like, uh-oh, 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 we've got a crisis here. We've got a crisis here. She's brought up the black word. You can see it. Watch it when you see it. You will notice like the abrupt, like, from the two non-black people who are standing there, which is her partner and the interviewer, who is kind of like giggling, like, I don't know what to say. And so he's like, well, her partner's like, well, maybe he likes tall black women. He try to soften that blow or whatever. Baby, let me tell you something. It is funny to me, if not just for the moment alone and the awkwardness that they're in. But let me say this. I would have to say, I don't know what Gene Simmons' preferences are, and I cannot pretend to ascertain what they may be. What I can say is that maybe, just maybe, Phaedra, you just might want to step up your pasta doble. Okay? I mean, there's a little bit of that based on the comments that we're seeing here. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that was the shot in the heart that Gene Simmons deserved based on what he gave Phaedra? Let us know if the shade was deserved. Okay? Little bit of light news for us today. Now, we need to take things over to Salt Lake City. Our friends over at Mr. Housewives have given us the tea based on an interview that Mary has done, because she's doing press. And when Mary does press, it's awkwardly outrageous. Okay? It is a beautiful disaster, and we live for it. I think we just live for Mary Cosby saying and doing the most either relatable or maybe non-relatable things ever. Take your pick. We enjoy it, okay? It's a break from the norm. You need spice, quirk. I mean, there are a lot of ingredients that you need to make a reality TV show great these days. You need somebody on the cast who is, either insufferably delusional. You need someone who is obviously messy. You need someone who is obviously naive. You need someone who is also, their life has to be, their life is a mess. That's always good. You also need someone who is, very quirky, offbeat, and Mary definitely fills that position on this show. And she got the coin. Okay. They make it in your size when you got the coin. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about at this moment. What I'm here to talk about is the fact that she thinks that Brittany Bateman, the new cast member who is dating or not dating one of the Osmond people's nieces, nephews, sisters, cousins, brother, I don't know, whoever he is, he's related to the Osmonds, of Donnie and Marie Osmond fame. Anyway, apparently the man lives on or lived associated to adjacent to parallel up, at a 90-degree angle to Osmond Lane, which is something big in Provo, Utah, which means that the people have money. Okay. Maybe it's kind of like the Beverly Hills of Utah or something like that. I don't know. What I do know is that Brittany has this on again, off again relationship, which we will talk about. I don't know how that's working for her, given that he's a DM in Angie's Brow Girl, Justice for Brow Girl. And anyway, so Bryce in the interview, basically, I mean, maybe it was already out there and I just had been in Bali and living my best life. But, Bryce asked Mary about, Brittany doing this secret recording. Okay. So Bryce, as we talked about before, Entertainment Tonight, he typically, touches bases with the housewives. And it looks like here he's in Mary Cosby's home, which is, I think, just fabulous. It's probably like an archive. I want to see it for myself one day. Mary, please let me into your home. I know that sounds very weird, but I just want to see it. Anyway, So he is getting the tea about this thing about Brittany recording the girls. Okay. Now, Brittany is a friend to the show, and apparently she's recording the girls behind their back or while they don't think that they're being recorded, which is always, again, wild to me for a reality TV show. But maybe it is to have proof of something that you are afraid that the production crew won't talk about, show, or to capture to prove that you have a receipt, which we know that particularly with any cast, they want proof, timeline, receipts, screenshots, all of the above, because clearly when the show is filming, all they talk about with each other are the show, as we will talk about in this episode, with regards to this episode. Now, whether or not she did record, which apparently she did, Mary feels like she got off too easily, okay, for secretly recording the Salt Lake City housewives on her phone. And Mary is like, yeah, I felt like she got off too easy because basically, she's like, they confront her and then it's like they all have margaritas and forget. And I'm like, I mean, I like a show that moves fast, but I mean, maybe it was a little too fast to move on from that. Do you think that she should be held to the fire? I guess we need to see it play out, right? What do you guys think of Brittany in general, overall, as a housewife? For me, I feel like Brittany should have been made a main cast member, but I guess they figured if we can get all this mess out of you for half the price, girl, let's get it. Okay, come on with it. Bring your mess to us for half off. Okay. Brittany, you should have left a little bit of mess to yourself, because maybe that's gonna be her entry in for next season, because she is, again, she got some mess with her, and she is not afraid to go up against people, but I don't know if she'd be quite ready to go up against who she thinks she's ready to go up against. Okay. So let's get into the episode. We are on season 5 of Salt Lake City, and this is episode, what is this? 4. It's called The Epiphany. Now, I'm going to read to you guys the episode description. It says, on day 2 of the Milwaukee girls trip, because like I said, I didn't recap the day 1 because we was down to the Bali. The women support Brittany because at this point we know she has found out that from Angie that the man is, DMing the brow girl. Okay. Lisa plans her own activities. Heather informs Whitney about the prison rumors leading to a disagreement between Whitney and Meredith. Brittany announces news about her relationship. Okay. So day 2 begins and we're starting a new day. And the girls are all getting ready for a full day, which is their last day in Milwaukee. They're getting ready for a full day. And they do start the episode off with a Laverne and Shirley theme. If I had to give this episode a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, it would probably be, for me, maybe an 8.9. I enjoyed it, but it really, to me, it moved the needle in some different directions. But when you come out of the gate swinging with that first episode, you kind of set yourself up for a little bit of failure in the subsequent episodes, unless they are equally as chaotic, right? But we still have quite a bit of mess. And as I'm watching this season of Salt Lake City and I compare it to New York, the new New York, right? The New York that's on right now, there is a marked difference between the cast. The cast from Salt Lake City are all very abnormal seeming people, right? And they have very like larger than life reactions to sometimes very small slights, and they make mountains out of molehills, which is what we love. And there's chaos all over the place. The women of New York, in contrast, seem to me to be very ordinary, normal, well-adjusted women who are attempting to give us entertainment, but are so self-aware that they can barely really let go enough to really allow drama to take place, right? there's hints of drama, and I feel like Brynn has to work overtime to make the drama and then play it off like she's not. Um, I don't know. I'm just comparing just to see who else is watching New York. I'm trying to watch it because I'm just trying to get into it and just see what it's giving, but it's very difficult for me, especially following something like a Salt Lake City and even a Potomac, which is starting off with a fresh start, right? So let's again dive back into where we were with Salt Lake. The ladies start off the day, there's a couple of different conversations happening, right? There is this idea that Whitney and Angie are having difficulties with Lisa, right? And Lisa is firmly not budging on her stance with Angie, not being a good friend to her and for supporting Whitney, because technically Lisa brought Angie onto the show. So I do think that there is from Lisa this idea that you are to be loyal to me. Okay. And now that you're being loyal to Whitney, you are being disloyal to me, which I could understand. But in that sense, I am actually opening up a lot more to liking Whitney because I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I feel like while Whitney I know is messy, um in this season I'm not so much against her. And I can't say why yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Um, the issue with Angie and Lisa, I think, is a classic Housewives issue that I do believe Angie is leaning into because I think that she knows that it will take her further to battle with Lisa. That's honestly what I think. Lisa to me is like what Giselle or Karen are to Potomac. I think that Lisa and Heather are going to be mainstays on this show, and I think that Lisa's very much, I mean, sometimes there's a lack of self-awareness, and sometimes I think that she's very self-aware and doesn't care. Okay. And that also can make for very good TV because she is who she is, and she's standing 10 toes down in it, don't care, don't give an F. Okay. And I do like that about people. Okay, right, wrong, and indifferent. If as long as you standing in it, okay, I could rock with it. Okay. Angie, on the other hand, I believe is probably a good friend, but I think she's put in an impossible position, right? You got to survive on this show. You've got to cause a little bit of controversy, but if you see that your friend is doing something, you got to be able to confront them without them losing their ish on it and being passive aggressive and not talking to you. Because I think that's what she's going through. And I do think, based on this new relationship with Mary, I have to wonder if maybe Angie really is a genuine friend behind the scenes. And something Lisa says to her later, everybody took it as such a low blow, but I didn't, but it did tell me something about Angie. Later on, Lisa will say to Angie in an argument that, oh, because they're arguing about how much Angie stays on the phone with Lisa I'm assuming while the season is filming, right? She's like, I'm on the phone with you morning, noon, and night. So how am I not being a good friend to you? And I'm quite certain that there are many cast members who plan, strategize, talk about, obsess about the show while they're filming because it's their job, right? So, and you got to make the best show possible. So it's hard to leave that world, I think. So I do believe that Angie probably was being a good friend, has been a good friend to Lisa. But then Lisa brings up this idea that, Angie uses her daughter, Electra, to get off the phone with her. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why wouldn't she get off the phone with you? That's her daughter. Like, everybody else was like aghast, like, oh, Lisa's talking about the daughter. And I didn't take it that way. I just took it as fact. Like, no, girl, you be getting off the phone with me anytime your daughter call, and I would be you're darn tootin'. Okay, that's my daughter. You are you. That is my daughter. Okay, that's my daughter. That's my flesh and blood. You, girl, you are just a friend that may not be here. Okay, but my daughter is forever. So yes, you're darn tootin'. I'm getting off the phone when my daughter calls you, and everybody's looking aghast, like Lisa went so low. it didn't seem like a low blow to me. It seemed like a statement of obvious fact. My daughter calls, I'm getting off the phone with you. Bye, girl. Okay. And I don't know. Did y'all take it like, oh, this is low? Like it was like forbidden. I was like, anyway, the reason we get further into an issue with Angie and Lisa is because we find out as Meredith goes to speak with Lisa, as Lisa's in glam for the day, that Angie and and Whitney approached Meredith and said, "Well, how much do you really trust Lisa? She said so much about your family. I mean, shouldn't you be feeling the same way we're feeling?" Which I did believe that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to like sway Meredith over to their side because now they see that, oh, we're on Lisa's bad side. So, girl, you've been on the receiving end. So, can we recruit you too? And Meredith's like, not me, girl. You ain't gonna have her going off on me again to the camera people. No, 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 ma'am. And she runs right to Lisa and tells her, listen, girl, they trying to pull me over to their side, and this is what they said. And Lisa's like, not having that. So Queen B is like, When Whitney comes to her room and tells her the itinerary, she's like, no thanks. I'm gonna do my own thing. Okay. And to further my solid space as the queen bee of this show, what I'm gonna do is, Whitney, I'm gonna take your friend and is it Maylee? I think that's her name. Maylee. I'm taking Maylee and I'm taking Brittany, Heather's friend, with me to my little ice rink activity that's not gonna be as fabulous as yours, but I'm gonna hold them hostage with me because I am the queen bee. And without them there, you're not going to have any drama for the day. Ha ha. And so she takes the girls, whisks them off. Maylee, being close to Whitney, doesn't even tell Whitney she's going. And so the rest of the ladies head off to the brewery. I don't know about y'all, but I would have been down to the brewery, okay? Because, I mean, listen, they was drinking crafted cocktails, crafted beer, the champagne of beer. So much so that even Mary's on board, okay? Mary, this season, to me, I feel like the producer said, Mary girl, we're going to listen. I'm going to give you some extra money. We're going to throw a little bit of extra cash on you to make sure. Because what I need for you to, if it was me, this is what I would have done. Mary, we need you back on board. Yep. And what we're going to do is we're going to probably pay you a little more, but we need you at every activity and we need fun, Mary. Okay. We need Mary that's engaged. We need Mary that's interested. You still be you. Okay. Don't take away you. Give us you. But you need to be in every scene, okay? And I need you to be happy to be there, okay? Now, chop, here's your check. That's what I think happened, okay? I mean, I might be wrong. Let me put the alleged badge up here, but it would have been the smart play. I would have done it, and everybody would have been happy, okay? Because I'm happy right now. And Mary is engaged, okay? And telling stories about her daddy allegedly living across the street from Jeffrey Dahmer and then being there when the police was pulling the people's body parts out of their apartment. Mind you, she then later tells us her daddy had a tendency to lie. So this is what I'm looking for, okay? I am looking for a quirk in my reality TV these days, okay? I'm looking for the most insane, fun, over the top. I'm looking for it all. I'm looking for a woman showing up in a Moschino hot dog outfit that is clearly giving more costume than it is fashion, according to Mary. But I need that on give me all of this. Give me all of it. If you're going to do fashion, do it all the way. Okay. I mean, I don't need you to claim that you're a fashion girl, but you ain't got the archive pieces. Okay. And I ain't talking about lay archive. No shade to you, Marlo, because I want your business to thrive, baby. I do. Thrive, baby. Thrive. Yes. Get your coin. Girls, get your money. I want you to do all that. But what I'm saying is, I want all of this. Give me everything that Salt Lake City is given, but give me that in every city, okay? In some way, shape, or form. Now, well, not in Beverly Hills. I need them for something different. And not in Atlanta. I need them for something different, too. And not in Potomac. I need them for something different, okay? Whatever. Just do what you're doing in Salt Lake City and keep it like that. So, at the brewery, you know, it is killing me softly with his song. It is killing Heather not to tell Whitney this tea about Meredith finding out, or the streets talking about, okay, because the streets being the streets, internet, social media, Instagram, and then Lisa and Meredith seeing these posts about Whitney's Prism beauty, bits and baubles, her jewelry line. I did no shade to you, Whitney, and your jewelry line. If you got some men's pieces, I'll buy a men's piece. Send me a men's piece because you know I wear some jewelry now. Okay, send me some Prism, baby. Send it on over, and we'll talk about it. And this will be my my audition for QVC. Even though I forgot who it was in the chat that told me I was gonna be fired. Anyway, send me something from Prism, baby. And I don't, and I don't believe not for a second that you were making stuff from Alibaba. And even if you were, that is commerce, as you stated. Now listen, I do feel like there is something to be said for the legitimacy of saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to work with specific manufacturers to help develop these pieces. But I also don't think that there is, listen, there are plenty of, whether it's from Alibaba, okay, a la the accusations that Sheree faced, okay, Shein, okay, I would say Shein, which I did buy a couple of Shein pieces for Bali. I ain't gonna even lie. I did, yeah, I did. Listen, they worked, okay, they worked. Who wants to spend an arm and a leg these days? Although I do like a good thrift store as well, so I do try to be sustainable. But when I need something quick and in a hurry, hey Shein. So I say all this to say that listen, a lot of people do it. You know, you look at a lot of these brands. When I was in Bali, you would see Louis Vuitton, Coach, Gucci, all of these designers in all of these little mom and pop style shops, like gift shops and stuff like that. And the going word on the street was that a lot of the people, a lot of the designer people that you see with people wearing in certain countries in around that area, okay, a lot of people are carrying fake designer, okay, so or designer made off the streets. What I'm saying to you is these designers are often getting their pieces from they're having them manufactured at a fraction of the cost, okay, and then they're marking up their items to thousands of dollars, even when that thing costs probably about at most maybe $75, if not lower, that to make. So everybody's doing it. It's called commerce, and to be honest with you, it is what it is at this point. You know, if you like Whitney's brand and you want to support her brand, and if the piece came from the alley, then it came from the alley. It is what it is. You spend your money how you want to spend it. It just depends on how they market it. Period. Okay. So anyway, Whitney is upset. Heather tells her, do not talk to these people about this until we have gotten back from the trip. But Whitney cannot be bothered to wait. She gets in that van when it's time for them all to head to dinner and is like, I would be happy, but you guys have been talking about my business. And Meredith is like, no, girl, I was not talking about your business. I was like, she should have come to me if she's going to copy me. That's all I was saying. Like, if you're going to do what I do, you should come to the experts. But you don't like me, so you didn't, essentially. So they go to dinner at the Harley Davidson restaurant, and then all heck breaks loose because she bring it up again. Now, at this point, Lisa and Meredith are like, girl, pipe down. It ain't that serious. We just saw it online and thought somebody needed to bring it to your attention, period, dot. And we knew it couldn't be us because we're not getting along with you. That's what they were trying to tell her. Then it turns into Lisa versus Angie. So they get into it about who's a good friend to whom. Angie and the standing up and the kicking of the chair for effect was a little bit put on to me. But Angie is someone who I think that has just become a characteristic for her on the show is, okay, I need a moment. Let me knock over this chair. No different than Lisa in the premiere. I need a moment. Let me toss this glass. So it's kind of like, oops, I'm mad. Let me do something to really accentuate that I'm mad, but I can't cause too much damage. So off with the chair. Maylee Thing is now the help. Hey maid, she picking up the chair behind Angie. Girl, let that chair sit down. You find your space in this argument. That's what you need to be doing. Okay, defend your friend Whitney. Get into it some kind of way. You better make a note, make a scene or something like that, because somebody else is going. If you don't make a scene, they're gonna make you, and you're gonna be off the show. So then, to calm this argument down, Brittany has to. Oh, I've had an epiphany, Chrisette Michelle style. And she's going to dump this Osmond person. But Heather's like, girl, you're not going to dump him because he is an Osmond baby. And he got the presence when he come into the room. And so, as a result of Heather saying that, Bronwyn is like, new girl. Bronwyn is like, girl, is that why you want to date him? Because he's an Osmond? And really, it was Heather that put this idea out there, to be honest with you. But Brittany is like, oh, girl, Bronwyn, no, you're not coming for me. You should be more worried about your marriage. And Bronwyn is like, see, you messing with the wrong one. Let me tell you why. Bronwyn is too smart for Brittany. Bronwyn is actually higher level read than I think a lot of these other girls. And what the other girls will give you with theatrics, Bronwyn is going to give it to you in brains, because Bronwyn is not going to break a sweat. She's like, girl, first of all, you don't even know my husband's name. So if you're going to be coming at me about my husband, first of all, know his name, Todd. Okay. So now that we've established that, Todd is too smart to be fooled by somebody who is thinking that I am going to be coming into the mix as some type of, wannabe sugar baby or whatever like that. Because you think because he's 26 years older than me that's the only reason why I'm with him? I mean, now, girl, listen. I mean, you said it, but we did. Now, here's the thing. Now, there is this thing about, the older man and the older woman who dates the younger person and what it could mean for that person and the benefits that it could be, whether it's a man or a woman and a boy, whatever it is. But the way Bronwyn handled Brittany, and Brittany had very little to say, I just have to tell you, snaps to you, Bronwyn, because you didn't have to get out of character. You took this girl on head on without, literally, it was everything from her confessionals to her talking literally down to Brittany that just told me everything that I needed to know. Bronwyn is too smart for you. Okay. And you realize you're being played in this moment, but you don't realize you're being played in this moment because you're going for the most low-hanging fruit. The fact that this woman is 26 years younger than her husband. That's obvious fact, right? So that's the obvious dig. But it don't really mean nothing to the person that's already been through it and been there, done that, right? It's boring to her. She's like, I would have been better. You would have been better served coming from my third nose job. Okay. Now that would have told me that you came to play. But this right here, girl, I'm bored with it. And so are we. Okay. It was a reach where you felt like the person was reaching real high, but their arms were really short. Sorry, Brittany. You couldn't, not today. Not today. So meanwhile, after they argue down, they go to the drag show. And I did love the fact that I felt that Whitney's support and love of the drag community, I did feel like it was real. So I did enjoy that aspect of her. And it did seem like everybody came together and had a good time at the end. So I think that's what I like about this show is they can kind of go at it and then come together and then go at it and then come together. That's the kind of energy we want for our reality TV, where it never really feels that deep, and what they do make deep is not really that deep. Okay, let us know what you thought about the episode in the comment section down below. With that being said, I have a podcast to do, so I have to jump off, and I will catch you guys in the next video.